Welcome, everyone. Before we begin this month, I want to begin with the container itself. This is not a quick program, I realize. It's not a mindset reset. It's not a promise to fix your life in 12 easy steps. This is a 12-month journey designed to help you live from alignment, not as an idea, but as an embodied way of being. And the reason it unfolds over a year is intentional, because the patterns we're working with were not formed quickly. They were formed through experience, adaptation, and repetition. So we will not undo them through force. We will undo them through awareness, integration, and choice. This journey moves slowly on purpose, not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system deserves respect. Over the next 12 months, we will explore what it means to live an aligned life, one where your mind, your body, and your inner truth are not working against each other. A life where success does not come at the cost of your health, your peace, or your sense of self. A life where effort is sustainable, decisions are grounded, and leadership, in your own life or out in the world, comes from wholeness rather than pressure. Each month has a distinct focus. Each week has a rhythm, and each phase builds on the one before it. There is no rushing ahead here. Nothing in this work is about becoming better. It's about becoming more honest, and honesty is what creates alignment. Now, let's talk about how this journey begins. It begins with awareness, because you cannot realign a life you are not fully seeing. So month 1 is called the illusion of success, not because success is bad, but because unconscious success can be costly. Many of us are living inside definitions of success we never consciously chose, definitions shaped by culture, family expectations, survival strategies, and unspoken rules about worth. Rules that taught us to equate productivity with value, achievement with safety, and approval with belonging. And many of these rules worked for a time. They helped us to adapt, they helped us to succeed, and they helped us to survive. But what helps us to survive does not always help us to feel alive. Month 1 is not about dismantling your life. It's about turning the lights on. It's about noticing where success feels urgent instead of fulfilling, where achievement requires self-override, where your body has been quietly left out of the conversation entirely. This month will not ask you to change anything. It will simply ask you to notice. And noticing is more powerful than it sounds, because awareness interrupts autopilot. Throughout this month, we will move through 4 distinct phases. First, teaching, where we explore how success conditioning forms and why it so often fails to satisfy. Second, body-based integration, where we notice how these patterns live in the nervous system, not just the mind. Third, reflection and journaling, where we gently deconstruct identity, obligation, and inherited definitions. And fourth, realignment and practice, where we introduce small, livable shifts that restore integrity without forcing change. This rhythm matters because insight without embodiment doesn't last, and action without awareness creates more pressure. This work is designed to be integrated, not consumed. Now let me say something important before we go any further. If at any point during this month you feel unsettled, resistant, or even strangely quiet inside, that does not mean you're doing this wrong. In fact, it might mean you're doing it right. Awareness can feel destabilizing at first because it asks you to see things you may have learned not to question. It may show you where you've been strong at the cost of softness, capable at the cost of presence, or successful at the cost of truth. And that seeing takes courage, but it also creates space to choose differently later when the time is right. You do not need to rush toward clarity. You do not need to make decisions this month. You do not need to justify anything you notice. Your only responsibility in month 1 is honesty. Honesty with yourself, honesty with your body, honesty about what feels aligned, and honesty about what doesn't. Now let's pause and take a moment together. Notice your body right now. Notice your breath. Notice if there is any sense of pressure to get this right. If there is, see if you can soften that. There is nothing to achieve here, only something to notice. As we move through this first month, I invite you to hold one guiding question gently in the background. What if success doesn't need to feel like pressure? You don't need an answer. Just let the question sit with you. This journey begins not with answers, but with awareness. And awareness, practiced gently, becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Welcome to month 1.